here's some real basic stuff that I'm going to go over real quick, and I'll bear with me in this video. I'll get a little deeper into it, but I just want to make sure no one's missing anything. This is a triad: root, third, fifth. Okay. The first inversion has the third in the bass. The second inversion has the fifth in the bass, and if you invert it again, you have root position. You have root position again. Okay. These are called closed triads. There's no gaps in the chord. That's how arpeggios work. Just root, third, fifth, root, third, fifth. Okay, that's a triad arpeggio. If you just play them one at a time, that's linear. Means a line. Okay. So the way it would be, well, if you were to see it on a music staff, it'd be like this as a chord, and as an arpeggio, it'd be like that. Does that make any sense? Okay, so now I want to talk about spread triads or open triads. So what you do is you have root, fifth, and then a third. These actually sound really beautiful on the guitar. They sound beautiful anywhere, but it's my opinion is because that's how the overtone series works. You actually you have to get to a fifth before you get to a third in the overtone series. So it's like how nature works. So they sound really beautiful. So I think it's worth practicing these to get really good at them. The only problem is on the guitar, there's so many places to play the same thing, so you have to work them out in a whole bunch of shapes. So I will show you those shapes. Now to invert these, so what happens is you can't just do it like this. That's not in the right order. So what you do is you go root, fifth, third is the root position. And then the first inversion has the third in the bass, and you're gonna go like this. Third, root, fifth, that's the first inversion. And the second inversion is gonna have the fifth in the bass, and it's gonna go like this. It's gonna go fifth, third, root. So again, that's the second inversion. If you invert it again, like that, basically, I guess you could do it like that. Doing it with pool balls is weird. Yeah, I guess it goes backwards. Isn't that interesting? Okay, so let's do this starting from here. Okay, so root position, first inversion, second inversion. Weird, right? Okay, so now I want to talk about four note chords, and I'll do that on another video. But first, I want you to make sure that you know your closed triads and your open triads in multiple different ways. You can practice them. You practice them either up the neck or across the neck. And for the closed, I like. So up the neck goes like this. It's in E. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's going up like, these three strings, these three strings, these three strings, and these three strings, okay? To go across, there's three basic shapes, and what I'd like you to do is incorporate the arpeggio shapes at the same time as you're doing the chord shapes. That way they're coming from the same part of your brain, so you can have access to the linear and the chordal. Does that make sense? All right, so here's the across the neck part. I associate that with the C shape. It looks like this. Does that make sense? It looks like the C shape. So, and the arpeggio goes like this. So, okay, the next one utilizes a combination of the A shape and the G shape. So it starts off like this, morphs into the G shape, and I like the arpeggio that goes like this. So if you practice the chords and the arpeggio at the same time, you'll associate one with the other, and you'll have quicker access to it mentally and visually. Also be aware of what interval number you're landing on, melodically preferably. So like, you'll know like what the fifth feels like. It has an emotional connection. Or the root. It looks. Anyway, sorry, that's open. Anyway, and then the other shape is looks like the E shape, but then it morphs into what would be the D shape. The D shape would be like that, right? So again, okay, so that's the closed triads. And then as far as the open triads, there's 12 shapes that I'd like you to practice. And it's organized in 3 chunks, just like closed ones were. So the open triads, starting from root position, looks like this. Now, just like the closed, you can practice them going up the neck as well as across the neck. Let me show you the up the neck ones, actually. They're really pretty, actually. So they're worth putting a lot of time into. So here's the root position one. And then second inversion, first inversion. So I'm doing it like this instead of this. You might recognize that shape a little easier because that's like, the bar chord shape that everybody knows. And it's fine to see it like that. But when you're concerned with voice leading, this one actually works a little bit better because you can connect each voice on the same string. As in, like here's the melody, here's the tenor, the alto, or the middle voice, and then the bass, right? You can go to the next one on the same string set. And it sounds really nice. If you wanted to add a little bit of a challenge to you, you could go like 1 5 1 5 1 5. Like here's E, here's B, here's E again, to B, to E, to B. Sounds really cool, huh? Don't you love the sound of open triads? I love them. You'd even go to minor 4. We haven't talked about the minor triads yet, but here we go. Anyway, we can delve into that. But let me show you the 12 shapes of the major triads. So yeah, up the neck is really cool. But here's across the neck, 12 shapes, okay? Here's root first. And then first inversion. You can also do it like that. That one's tough. There you go. So let's do it again. So anyway, there you go. There's 12 shapes. There's a way that you can trick your mind. Well, not trick, but you want to force your your eye and your ear and your brain to all tackle these in multiple different ways. So with this one, when they're all in the same key, you can kind of react sonically, like if you're making a mistake. But you want to make sure you're really sure-footed on these so that you can use them in the heat of battle. So here's an interesting test. Okay, so you can do all 12 shapes in one part of the neck, but each one is going to go down a half step. So let me explain. So we can do it in C, and then we'll do it in B, and then B flat, and then A, and then A flat, and then G, F sharp, and then F, and then E, E flat, D, and then C sharp, and then finish on C. Does that make sense? So you're forced to go, yeah. Anyway, try that.